Alright, so let's look at lesson 2. We are talking about writing two-step equations. Our goal is to be able to write two-step equations looking at keywords. So, number 1. Anybody want to read it? Go ahead, Dylan.
Dad wants to buy a sheets of trumpet music at the price shop. She only has $25 and she needs to pay back 5 to a friend. How many sheets can Caitlin buy?
Okay, so what's going on here? What's the situation talking about?
She needs to buy.
She needs to buy something, right? How much is the trumpet music? Because it says as shown. What is it?
$3.
3 per sheet. So part A says, describe how this problem represents an inequality. Why is it an inequality and not just an equal to equation?
Because it doesn't show how many she can buy. It doesn't tell
Alright, it doesn't tell specific. Let's see. So an equation means it has to equal exactly $25, right?
But the numbers all.
But here, an inequality is not just one answer. It could be this answer or something different. What makes this and something different?
Because she doesn't have to use her full 25.
She doesn't have to use the full $25. If you go to Walmart and you have $25, do you have to spend all your $25 right there? No. You could spend $25 or less. Now, we're not talking about credit card situation here. We're just talking about straight cash situation. You're going to one of them old mom and pop shops that only take cash. Okay? So, because she can spend less, she can spend either exactly $25 or less. That's what makes it an inequality versus an equation. So it says, part B says, describe the part of the situation that is the variable. What does a variable mean? But it is the letter, but what does it represent? It's the unknown. That's usually, you could go back to the question right here, and it's going to tell you what the variable is going to be. What is our unknown that we're trying to find? How many she can buy. So the sheets of music, how many can she buy? What are all the costs that Caitlin's money has to cover?
The $5 for your friend and the $3 for your trumpet.
So she has to pay her friend back and the cost of the music sheets, right? Which is worth what? $3 per. So how can we write an expression that just represents the amount of cost that she has to cover? So 5 plus, remember how we talked about how and means plus?
5 and.
So 5 and or 5 plus the cost of sheets, right? Well, what is how do we represent the cost of sheets?
X.
But do we know how much it is?
Yes, 3.
We know it's $3, but we don't know how many, so 3 per a sheet
So it
would be 3x. Or whatever variable you choose to use. If it doesn't tell you specifically, they don't care. Like if it doesn't say use X, then they don't care. So we can take this expression and now put it into an inequality. When it says write an inequality or write an equation, they want you to write a math sentence. So we've got the first part, 5 plus 3x. What inequality symbol, because we said it has to be an inequality, what inequality symbol is going to represent spending $25 or less? Less than or equal to 25. Okay. Alright, we're going to skip part F for now. And look at number 2. Who wants to read number 2?
Number 2. Alright, Kyle is renting a boat with his family at the lake. The rental company initiates charges $50 for a boat plus the hourly fee. The family plans to spend no more than $250 on the boat rental.
Okay. So we've read it once. Now we want to comb back through it and find some key words here. So the first sentence, Kyle's renting a boat with his family at a lake. Is anything important in there? No. Okay. Second sentence, the rental company initially charges $50 for the boat plus the hourly fee shown.
Yes.
What would you deem important in here?
The charges $50.
Alright, so initially charges $50. That's important.
And the
Hourly fee. Anything else that just shines out at you? No other keywords?
Plus.
I would say plus is important, right? Because that's going to tell us what operation. Alright. Alright, the last sentence. The family plans to spend no more than $250 on the boat rental. No more than is important. $250. How is this representing an inequality and not an equation?
Because we don't know the total value of the rental.
Well, that even if we don't know the total value, we could still say that it's equal to 250.
But since it's no more than, we don't know how many hours.
Because it says no more than. What symbol is that? What is no more than?
Less than.
Less than or equal to. We know we're going to use that symbol instead of an equal sign. Now, had it said the family will spend $250, that would be an equal to situation. But they want to spend no more than. They don't mind spending $250, but they also probably would be happy with spending less than $250. What are the values in the problem that cannot change? Remember, cannot change. This is our constant. It's $50. It doesn't matter how long you have that boat. You just go look at the boat and put your toe in it. What do you have to pay them? $50. Okay? You could have the boat for an hour. You could have the boat for 16 hours. You're going to have to first pay $50. Okay? What value in the problem is going to vary? What's going to change? And the number of hours. How long? How can we represent this? Because do we know this part? No, this is our mystery. So how can we represent this? You could, with a variable, right? You could use H, you could use X, you could use whatever you wanted to use. I'd probably use H since we're talking about hours. I try to keep my variable with what we're talking about. Write an inequality that shows how many hours the family can rent the boat. So if we go back to what we've talked about so far, how can we set this problem up?
So 50 plus plus is less than or equal to 50 plus 25H.
50 plus 25H, because look right here. The hour plus the hourly fee, which is $25 an hour. So $25 for the first hour, $25 for the second hour. So when you have an hourly rate or an hourly fee, you're multiplying the price to however long you're using it. So plus 25H, oops, 25H is no more than, which is less than or equal to $250. And that's all we have to do today. We're not solving them yet. You're just setting it up. Okay? Alright, if we flip to the next. A manager wants to buy headsets for the customer service team members to use. The headsets cost $12 each. The budget allows $155 to be used for customer service equipment, but the manager wants to save more than $20 for later in case it's needed for something else. How many headsets can the manager buy? So what I want you to do is take a minute and comb through, you read through sentence by sentence, highlighting things that are underlining, circling, boxing in what's important from each sentence. Now, some of those sentences may be trash sentences and not need anything important out of it. All right, what'd you find? 12 each. 155. Budget more than 20. Okay. What does a budget mean? That's what you have, and you can't go over it, right? You always want to start with what you have. We have $155. Okay? So, and from that $155, that's what we can spend, right? What operation is spending? Subtraction. So right here it says, will the inequality situation involve addition or subtraction? Subtraction. We know it's subtraction because we start with the total. If you are starting with a total amount, then it's either going to be subtraction or division. Okay? And you're taking away from it. So we want to write an inequality for how many headsets the manager can buy while staying within its limits. So if we want to always start with what we have, what's going to be the first thing we put down? 155. And from that 155, what are we going to do? Subtract. Well, this right here, more than $20, that's the after part. We want more than or greater than $20 left over after we do this part right here, after we do the buying. So 12 each would represent, how would we represent 12 each? 12H, 12X, whatever you want to do. What makes us use the greater than symbol and not an equal to symbol?
Because you always take more than.
Right here when it says they want more than $20. Not, they want exactly $20. They'd be a lot happier if they saved more money, right? I don't think anybody's going to complain about saving money if you save more money. Okay. All right, we're going to skip 4 and 5 so that if you look on page 7, it looks like what some of your homework questions are going to look like tonight. So if you look at number 2 on page 7, it says, write an inequality that represents 54 less than half of a number is more than 233. There's a lot of wordiness in that. Because when I first read less than, I think, oh, the less than sign, right? But less than can also mean subtraction. So when do you know that they're using subtraction, and when do you know they're using the symbol? Well, if you keep reading, if you look for the word is means where you're going to part the equation or part the inequality. That's usually where we put the equal sign. But here they want it to be is more than, so instead of using an equal sign, what are you going to use? Greater than 233. So we know it's going to be greater than 233. We already know half of the problem. So when you come back to work on the other half, you have 54 less, which is what? Minus than. What do you remember about than? It's one of those flip words. So whatever's in the back comes to the front, and whatever's in the front comes to the, that's a flip word. So 54 is going to come back here and less. Half of a number. What does this tiny little word of represent? Multiplication. So it's saying 1/2 times a number. What does a number mean? A number is the question. It's a variable. You get to pick. They don't care. Okay? So it could be 1/2. I could put 1/2 P for Pittman. 1/2 C for Cameron. 1/2 M for Mason. It doesn't matter. 1/2 A for Ashton. It doesn't matter. So this 1/2 P minus 54 is greater than 233. Look at number 12. Twice a number plus 4 is at most 12. Look for where it's getting parted first. Where do we... Is at most 12. What symbol does is at most represent? Greater than or equal to. If you didn't know, you could look back at page 2 of your notes. So how do I write this half? How do I write twice? 2 times whatever variable, right? 2 times whatever number you want. Plus 4. So 2x plus 4. 3 less than a quarter of a number is less than 6. Is less than 6. Then we have 3 less than means to flip, right? A quarter of a number. A quarter means divide by 4 or times 1/4. So 1/4 x minus 3. Okay. Your homework is like that tonight. Thank y'all for waiting for me to finish. I appreciate it. All my other classes would be so well, so I appreciate y'all. But really, probably truly are. All right, y'all.